naked protest to dissolve.
The strength of love will carry me through this week.
Honestly, I think the naked protest to dissolve.
The strength of
Where are the white rapists? Where are the white rapists?
through this week.
Where was management when the police were on campus?
The strength of
Where are the white rapists? Where was management when the police were on campus? Where are the white rapists?
The strength of love will carry me through this week.
The shutdowns are a must.
Where was management?
If the shutdown is the only language in the strength of
Where are the white
love,
rapists?
the shutdowns are a must.
I support the protest.
Shutdown is the only
Where are the
language
white
that
rapists? Honestly, I think
understands
where was
the
management?
I support the protest.
All rapists must suffer.
I support the protest. But not the way it's
shutdowns
done.
are a must.
Somebody help me, please! Hashtag, are you represented? Oh my gosh, it's time for the zoo! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please turn off your cellular devices and any other digital phones. Welcome to the Reclaiming Animalistic and Primal Equity Zoo. Unfortunately, we are still working on the acronym. Here at the zoo, we pride ourselves on over 65 hectares of human misery and destruction. Each year, we add over 293,000 humans to our zoo. And every 107 seconds, there is a new exhibit. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 6 men will be violated. That means, ladies and gentlemen, that by this time next year, 25 of you sitting here will become a permanent part of our exhibit. The ages of those on display range from 9 days to 93 years. Races consist of black and others, and for those of you who may be concerned, we are BEE compliant. At our zoo, there are over 80% of our rehabilitation unit that are females. It is believed that women can be controlled and rendered powerless through assault. Current day lobotomy is effective in silencing our victims, as the pillage is acted out by those closest to us. This is why the human species perpetrators is so rare. Only 4% of our zoo consists of this trophy human. Now, moving on to some media relations. Our affiliations and sponsors are crime, poverty, and assault. This being said, please enjoy your visit to our zoo. Keep your eyes and ears open, and remember that you are responsible for your own well-being. Anything that happens to you during your visit is entirely your own fault. Over here we have the dining hall exhibit. We find a student on his phone waiting for his toast. He is joined by a female student. She is approached by another male student, and he asks, "Why weren't you part of the naked protests? I mean, you have nice boobs." He repeats his actions, and the student tries to look to the other student for help, but he walks away. Right, now moving on to our next exhibit, the men's meeting. Right, men, thank you so much for having this meeting. You have the floor.
Kaida. Yeah, ne. You see the problem about this, I need some clarity on the situation. Under my presumption, this is a men's meeting. But I'm seeing women all over here, man.
I'm sorry, but how did you expect to have this meeting without any women present?
Especially when you as men have failed to define the issue.
The issue here is, this is a men's meeting. I don't understand what women are doing here.
Yeah, Marlene, I can't support this protest, man. What about men's rights?
That's
Honey, I'm home.
Baby, Daddy!
Shouldn't you be in the kitchen? Hey son, how was your day?
Well, there was a protest today. The only reason I'm going tomorrow is to see more naked women.
Bloody feminists are at it again, hey?
Baby, why are you on your knees? Mommy, don't you know? She's always on her knees.
Son, what's another name for a woman?
Ooh, I know this one. My friends at the cave told me it's a finger puppet.
I'm sorry. Our next exhibit is going to be the conveyor belt.
I met him in Fry's and I agreed to go home with him, but I never agreed to sex.
So I got it all the way with me, and then my name ends up on the reference list.
I met him in Fry's and I agreed to go home with him, but I never agreed to
I got it
sex.
all the way with me, and
I
then
met
my
him in
name
Fry's
ends
and
up
I
on the
agreed to go
reference
home with
list.
him, but I never agreed to sex.
They told me in a week that if she starts screaming.
Then all of a sudden you shoved my head in a pillow.
They told me in a week that if she starts screaming.
Then all of a sudden you shoved my head in a pillow.
They told me in a week that if she starts screaming.
All of a sudden you shoved my head in a pillow.
But I never.
They told me in a week that if she starts.
I told him I was done and that I wanted to stop.
But I hadn't even come yet.
I told him I was done and that I
They
wanted
told me
to
in a
stop.
week
But I
that
told
if
him
she
I was done
starts
and that I
screaming.
wanted to stop.
They told me in a week that if she starts screaming. They told me in a week.
Guys? 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 Can we go? Guys, I told you I can't walk on the road. Where are you? Guys? Guys, please.
Bazan. I was violated by a fellow student. She took advantage of me.
Excuse me, plaintiff. She. Are you stating that you were violated by a female?
Yes. That's not funny. If a woman was in my position right now, you wouldn't be laughing. I've been silent for too long. Because society tells me that as a man, it's either I should have enjoyed it or that I'm weak. I'm tired of that shit. Okay? Because that day I said no. But clearly no means nothing anymore.
Are you scared of the punani?
Right, management coming through. Management, wait.
Rhodes University. Our campus is bleeding. But our university will continue to be a family. With regards to the interdict, we did not serve it. We also didn't call the cops onto campus. And for those of you who speak against management, we will silence you. Aluta continua. I thank you.
Right. Now this is my personal favorite exhibition. I mean, it demonstrates how people can be unified, how we can stand together. It shows how here at the zoo, if we suffer together. If we bleed as a family. We at the zoo are a rainbow, and we are proud of our diversity. And in order to maintain this rainbow, we will do so by any means necessary. We will take any actions to protect those that we feel are innocent or vulnerable or intimidated. So, please, rise for the national anthem. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We have enjoyed having you over, and we hope you have enjoyed it as much as we have enjoyed putting it on. We hope that you can travel safe, and we have Oppie buses for those of you who need it. You can just stand here at the bus stop and wait for the Oppie buses. Godspeed, and see you next time.
Thank you.
On time next time.
You must buy another license.
We'll see if you'll still be working on Monday.
Bus stop.
You're going.
I'm going home.
Home? By yourself?
Oh no, it's fine. My uncle's waiting for me at the bus stop.
Dressed like that?
I didn't think my outfit has such an offense.
Well, it is in certain ways.
Bus stop.
You're not going anywhere.
Not about sex. Rape is not about sex. I'll say rape is not about sex.
I'm sorry.
Rape is about power.
Please stop.
In reality, on our campus, this does not happen. However, our victims, they know who our rapists are. And I wanted to thank you today for coming to watch this. On behalf of all the cast, we urge you to keep fighting for your own rights. Oh, and Winnie, I'll walk you home tonight.
us, humiliated us, criminalized us. They spat in our faces and saw us as numbers instead of fellow human beings. We will not be treated as victims because we are strong, and even stronger because we have our fellow brothers and sisters fighting with and for us. We will not be put down. We will carry on fighting. We will not be silenced anymore. Amandla.
Where to?
Good evening, everyone. Can we have a spirited round of applause for the performers who put their bodies in? I think we acknowledge. For those of you who don't know, this is the director of the work. All right. With acknowledgement that we're all triggered and sore, and we all don't know how to have these conversations. We actually don't, and it's worth acknowledging that. But I think perhaps if any of you have any questions, comments, things you'd like to talk about, would you just put up your hand and I'll open the space for you. Yes.
I just want to ask, the last scene where they were cleaning up the body of the victim, they were touching each other's lips. What did that mean?
For me, I put that in, that was one of a very disputed thing between us and the cast, me and the cast. And for me, it was just to look at somebody else as a human being and to appreciate that being that is there, that heartbeat that is there. It is just a simple interaction between someone.
Would anyone in the cast like to respond to that, perhaps differently?
It was coming from such a triggering and sore scene with Winnie, and when we're got the buckets in front of us and we're cleaning up and we start doing this, it's just about acknowledging the fact that some of us will always be there for each other. It's a shift away from the last scene. And obviously, as Jake put it, we did discuss it extensively last night when we were rehearsing. But like he said, it's just looking at each other as human beings, because I sometimes feel we forget to look at each other and actually see someone else.
Any other questions, comments? Yes?
To the performers, are there any of you guys that weren't
involved during the protest, and then having been involved in this production and seeing the kind of emotions that it brings out, would you have then, if the protest happened, like say next week, and you guys were performing this today, would you guys have changed your reactions to the protest and whether you were involved or not?
I think a majority of the cast, actually I think everyone was involved in the protests, especially because we did this piece last year, so it's very much what's left over from last year. So when this was still happening, we were like, but we showed everyone. So I think we were all really involved anyway.
I think also just to carry on from Gabby's point, I wasn't in this piece last year, but it's as much as it is a continuation, there was no way we could ignore what's happening in front of our doorsteps. And we referenced, we took a lot from what's happening right now, and all of us here have been involved in the protest, and this Welcome to the Zoo piece was looking at the rape culture and the perpetuation of it by management and other students and how it comes through and how some people are ignored. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, Sophie.
Is your hand up?
I just wanted to comment on the scene where the one student asked about what it meant and the significance of it, and I really found it so powerful. Honestly, the past 9 days, literally, it's been so difficult for everyone having to kind of, you past even being a student, you are a human, and having to like get that across to management, really, it hasn't been going in. And I love how you highlighted that above everything else, what we're doing, I'm trying to speak to you as a person, above your title, above your academia. You are a person, you're a soul. See me for what I'm worth, you know, like, that's just literally what we've been trying to do. And I'm so glad you highlighted it so beautifully, Jake, and you know, the cast members, like, this was amazing. This was amazing.
Thank you. Yes, I see you.
It's more of a comment, so that was fantastic, so congratulations.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
I was saying it's a comment, and also to say congratulations to the cast, but also just for me, the scene with management, if anyone who wasn't part of the protest, that's literally what they did. So it touched me. So.
If you have your hand up and you're up there, the lights are in my face so I can't see you, just click your finger so that I can actually acknowledge you. There was a hand up here. Yes, I see you.
To director and to the cast, thank you very much. I must say that this particular piece, for me specifically, begins a conversation that is quite difficult to have. And, you know, it reaches, I'd say, to a deeper place than what it has been, than what the protest has somewhat done, because at times I felt as though the protest was an evisceration of positions.
Oh, sorry, man. Can we just...
It made me question at times the ethical positions that we can take, or that we do take, for that matter. There was, to an extent, coercion throughout the protest at times, and there were times when, as much as I am a vocal person, I would like to say that this particular past 9 days has shut me up. And for the first time in these past 9 days, Jake, thank you for this piece, because it begins a conversation that is very difficult to have. And for that, genuinely, I would just like to express thanks And just to say that indeed it goes beyond some of the things that we do in the bureaucracy of trying to change the system. And for that, genuinely, I would like to express thanks to the director and to the cast.
Yes, I see.
I just think the part which really resonated with me in this piece was when, after what had happened with Winnie, and then the boy vehemently said that, stand up for your rights, all that nice stuff, and then walked her home and violated her. And I would say that it resonates in this protest as well, because we don't know. There are people who are at the forefront saying, I support beautiful statuses, beautiful everything, and they're still perpetrators, and they're still walking around. So it's like, it's a tough thing to like to try and encompass, because it's like, oh yeah, this person before us, like we can trust this person, and then they use that same trust as most perpetrators do. They use the trust that you have to take advantage of you, and then when you try, you're silenced because they're like, no, that doesn't make any sense, because they were at the forefront of everything. So it's that part. How do we fix? How do we change that? What can we do?
Yeah, that part for me kind of was it wasn't a message to say don't trust anyone you see or don't trust anyone you're around. It's just a kind of thing to say that these things happen completely out of nowhere, out of when, I mean, were you expecting that? So that's what I'm saying, is that's the kind of message we're trying to get across, is just these kind of things are so intolerable, because it's two people by themselves where no one else is, and if one person is more dominant over the other, there's no chance for the other person. So that was just what it was for me.
Also, it is to eliminate the idea of stranger danger, because yes, it is very possible that you can be raped by a stranger that you don't know, you can get attacked. But a lot of rape cases are not so cut and dry that it's just, oh, you got attacked by someone and they raped you. It can be someone you know, someone who's important to you, taking advantage of you in a situation, violating you. Rape is not as simple as it sounds. That's kind of the message we're trying to get across. So that needs to be discussed so people know what the limit is.
I think that, sorry, just to add on to their points, that we tend to want to profile perpetrators. So we'll be like, oh no, but my friend could never do that, you know. But this past 9 days, with the RU references that came out, some of us have friends on that list. You know, it's like with that scene, it was trying to show that, I don't know if you guys noticed, in the bus scene, he waved goodbye to Winnie, like a friendly gesture. And then he comes up and he's like, oh no, I'll walk you home, right? Like, and then all of a sudden, he's he violates her. And it's showing that the stranger danger thing is, yeah. To answer your question.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I appreciated how you showed the different facades that are exhibited in like our university. Because I mean, with this whole movement, there's been a lot of people just backing management and backing whoever's in power and whatever. And so they're on our side, like the opening when you were talking about the zoo and how you're using all these euphemisms to explain like things are actually bad, but then they made to seem good, and then you like how you just broke it apart and actually showed that no, what the picture that they painted for you isn't exactly what it is. And I really appreciated that, and the rawness in, I think it's Winnie, in her crying actually also emphasized that. It's like, this is the real pain that people are feeling. It's not the smiles when they introduce you, it's not the we're here to protect you. That's what it is, how she cried and she wailed on the floor. That for me was just
I see you.
Okay, this is, but I think this is a comment more than it is a question. Drawing from what everyone else has said, and I think personally, from a personal capacity, I think this whole production is just a reminder number one, of why we started in the first place. I think our focus was drastically shifted in the past 9 days. You know, it went from, you know, the posters coming down to management and its inefficiency and this and this and that. And it just like takes us back to what started the conversation in the first place. And I think it's become a challenge for myself personally. And I think it's a challenge that should be put out there, that let this conversation not end here. Because the whole fight, again, I think personally, like the whole fight and the whole spirit of anger and whatnot, it's gonna fall away. At some point, we're gonna run dry all of those emotions. But rape still exists. You know, perpetrators still exist, victims will still exist beyond us. And this conversation can't fall away for anyone, right? And this is just an appeal to the student body. You know, like, obviously we don't agree about the methods of like the protest and whatnot, and that's okay. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. But I guess it's one of those things of like, let's not forget why we started, and let's never be discouraged. Like, let's keep the conversation going, because it is a necessary conversation, guys. Like, and it is beyond us in the sense that, you know, it's a worldwide thing, it's a worldwide plague. But then it's the little people like you and I who make the bigger changes in the world. When we come together and we say, enough is enough, we need to change.
I see you and I see you up there.
Well, firstly, I'd like to say, guys, what a great job you've done. But also, I think that maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I'm almost ashamed that I watched this last year, and obviously there are things that have changed, but almost that my sort of reaction to it now has changed so drastically, because now I'm aware of people's stories, people's testimonies, and things they've experienced on this campus, things that I was quite oblivious to or chose to be quite ignorant towards. And the fact that I'm really ashamed, honestly, of myself, that I needed people to validate their pain, for me to really be like, wow, guys, there's actually these things happening. So I don't know if anyone else feels like that. But the fact that women, and actually all survivors, men, female, have to always validate and really sort of perform their pain for people to really engage with these type of discussions. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really, that's the crux of the problem, because there's so much silence around it, because there's so much pain. And yet, this is why the conversation is so hard to have, because you have to have access to someone's pain to know what it is to have that conversation. And I think that's why it's so wounding to protest like that. You know, it's wounding because you have to perform that pain. Yeah, I saw that. There was another hand here. Yes?
Hi. Over this period of time. And I don't know if anybody else feels this way, and maybe you can help me. But after watching this and after experiencing everything that's been happening, I find myself struggling to trust people now. Struggling to, trust even people who are saying please continue protesting. Because you find people posting on Facebook that, I was there, the front lines, and I looked across and I saw my perpetrator, and just watching the scene with the gentleman and Winnie, and just turn around and do those exact same things. So I'm finding it very hard now to be on campus and trust people and trust that this person's got my back regardless of whether they know me or not, because it's just like, well, how do you know now? How do you know? How do you feel safe and at home, in a place where it's anybody and everybody, and so that's what I've just been really grappling with.
For me personally, I just felt that's the reason why we've had the protests for people not to feel unsafe in such a space, for management to actually open their eyes and ears and take a stance as to we need to strengthen our measures with regards to assault charges and stuff. So for me, being part of such a production was in a way me, extending my protesting in a form that people, the reason why the protest is happening is so that people can actually walk around this campus and feel safe and not feel unsafe every day.
I think you point to a very important thing, and that's that there is a trust that has been broken on this campus now, right? That contract between humans that we shall not harm each other is broken. The very measures that hold the thing together have been ruptured. What do we do?
I'd just like to say I really appreciate the attention to detail in the production, particularly the scene where the man is raped. And I think it speaks to the whole reinforcement, not only just society, but in terms of institutionalized, because it's in a court where the masculinities play, that a certain kind of man is raped. And if you're this masculine or not that masculine and feminine, that you're the one who's more prone to be raped and whatnot. And I think that was really nice attention to detail.
Who did I say was second?
Oh yeah, I just have comment. I think that the invite should be extended to management. The invite should be extended.
Did I say up there? Hey. Yes?
I just want to say, I feel like the actors really embodied what victims or survivors go through. With that being said, I don't think the difficulty of putting yourself into a character like that can be understated. So I commend the actors for their job in this play.
Two more, the ones I've already pointed out, and then we're going to have to stop because they have to take care of themselves so that they can do the next show.
Adding on to everything you want to say, just a general thank you and well done, obviously, it was amazing. And I think the whole play just encompassed the idea, specifically in the context of Rose, rape doesn't have a face. You can't pinpoint it to a certain race group, a certain gender, a certain anything. It's subordinates, it's these people, that's the whole point of the protest. And I think what someone was saying earlier about how they felt coerced into talking about race was an epidemic at Rhodes. I don't understand you coercing into talking about humanity. And I think statements like that are the whole reason we had the protest, is because people feel uncomfortable talking about it. And you can't feel, for change to happen, you need to feel uncomfortable.
There's one last person up there, we see you.
I just wanted to say that this is following on from the comments about the loss of trust that's happened over the last few days. And I just wanted to reiterate that we are at a very crucial time in what we're doing as activists and as protesters, in the sense that we have been silent, right, again, by this incident. But what that means for us is that we cannot look at each other and trust each other anymore. What that means for rape survivors is that the daggers they've been getting from their perpetrators who are still here will continue, and you have to now worry about whether this person is going to come for me again. You have to now worry about who else is going to go and hurt now that nothing's going to happen to them. And we're at a place where they've managed to silence us, but this is not the time to do it. Because now it's more important than ever to make sure that this ends now, that there is some kind of consequence to doing stuff like that. And I really applaud you guys for coming up with incredibly creative way to open up this space again. And I implore everybody in this room who's seen this to take it out there and tell people why this is so important and why it can't stop here.
Can we have one last big round of applause?